The best street photography stories are hidden in everyday moments, and today I'll show you how to find and capture them like a pro. Let's get into it. Street photography isn't about snapping random pictures. It's about making photos that speak to you and your audience. A quick glance, a simple gesture, or even the way that somebody carries an accessory or an object can create a powerful image. In this video, we're breaking it all down. We'll cover how you can start to easily spot human interactions, capture accessories and objects and how they relate to the story being told, and even photograph emotion and also layering your shots. By the end, you'll be able to take the everyday moments that we all take for granted and turn them into something extraordinary. Let's jump straight in. Street photography thrives on connection. Human interaction is what makes your photos relatable and memorable. When people see a genuine moment of connection in your work, it sparks something familiar and emotional, turning a simple image into something that you and your viewers can feel. To capture these moments, start by observing your surroundings. Find places where people naturally gather or pause and take a moment to watch. Look for subtle interactions that tell a story. By staying patient and ready, you will attune yourself to these moments when they happen. So position yourself where the action is and frame your shot to highlight the connection. For example, you can focus on the interaction between two people whilst using their surroundings to add context. Get close enough to emphasize the details, but don't lose sight of the environment, as I found that it often enhances the story. But remember, as I've discovered, it's not about taking a perfect photo. It's about capturing the energy and the authenticity of the moment. And that's what you can do when you start patiently observing the happenings on the street around you. Objects in street photography are more than just part of the background. They are opportunities. Everyday items like mobile phones, cigarettes, food and drink, and any other carryable item, when paired with people, can add depth, context, and meaning to your photos. The key is to focus on the interaction between the subject and the object. Whether they're holding, adjusting, or simply moving past something, the way they connect with the item reveals subtle details about the moment. By paying attention to these interactions, you can uncover stories that go unnoticed. Plus, when you're framing your shot, consider the role the object plays in the scene. The object should guide the viewer's attention and emphasize its connection to the person, whilst the subject with the object is placed within the larger context of the environment around them. For example, if somebody's holding a mobile phone, the mobile phone adds context to the story, but the person and their interaction with the environment should remain the focus of your photograph. In that way, the object, subject, and background sit within a larger framework of storytelling, depth, and detail. Quick favour, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It's free, it's easy, and rumour has it, it might even make your photos better. Much appreciated. Layers bring depth and richness to your street photography, making your images feel multi-dimensional. By including elements in the foreground, the midground, and the background, you'll create a dynamic frame where stories unfold on multiple levels. The key is positioning. Find objects and people who are moving at varying distances and let the scene build. Be patient and observe how the elements interact as they all come together. To do this technique, start by identifying a strong foreground element, such as a shop sign, street lamp, etc., and then wait for a subject to come along, or capture the subject who's already standing or sitting in the composition, and then use the background to provide additional context and tie the composition together. To maximize this effect, use an aperture from approximately f5 to f11 to keep all layers in focus. This approach ensures that every detail across the frame is clear, allowing viewers to explore the scene at their own pace. Alternatively, you can use the focus point to latch onto the subject and blur out the foreground by using a wide aperture. Experiment with both methods and see what looks good to you. When done well, layered compositions add complexity and turn even the most everyday street scenes into engaging multi-dimensional stories. Emotion is the heartbeat of storytelling in street photography. When you capture emotion, you invite the viewer to connect with your photo on a personal level. Whether it's joy, frustration, or quiet contemplation, emotions give your images depth and a personal connection for the viewer. The key is to stay observant and be ready to react quickly. These are fleeting moments, and hesitation could mean missing the shot. It's a tricky one. I've personally missed loads of moments of happiness and laughter just by being not quick enough. I do this every morning, but the important thing is to not beat yourself up about it if you miss something. The technique that I used when I shot this video last week, that you can try out for yourself, was to listen out for people laughing and make a beeline towards them. Sadness and misery I'm naturally drawn to, so that's not a problem for me. When framing your photo, focus on the subject's expression to highlight the emotion, but don't forget the environment, as it can add much needed context and detail. Emotion is what makes your photos feel alive. When the viewer has the chance to connect with the subject in your image, you've created something truly special. Light and shadow are your secret weapon in street photography. They don't just brighten a scene, they set the mood, add depth, and amplify the story that you are telling. When used creatively, even the simplest moments can become totally atmospheric and beautiful. Start by looking for contrast. Pay attention to how light falls around you. Observe how it highlights your subject, creates separation, or adds texture to the scene. Try capturing natural sunlight from different angles, or focus on a subject under the warm glow of a shop window. Shadows are equally important. They can frame your subject, add mystery, or even lead the viewer's eye through the composition. If you're lucky enough to have good light, then you've pretty much got atmosphere in the bag. Just be careful with your exposure. If you're using auto ISO in bright sunshine, I personally would set a max of approximately 800, as it's very easy to blow out highlights in harsh sunlight. Try using exposure compensation to keep the details intact in both the highlights and the shadows, especially in high contrast scenes where bright areas or deep shadows can get blown out or crushed. Finally, remember that light and composition go hand in hand. A well-composed shot with great light can elevate an ordinary scene into something spectacular. So experiment with how light interacts with your subject and the environment, and also let the shadows add that extra bit of drama to your photos. The best street photography stories start with observation. It's also a great chance to practice the fishing technique. Find a spot with good light, though where I live that's more wishful thinking, and wait for the perfect subject to enter your composition, and then snap away. If you want to capture most of the scene in detail, start with an aperture of approximately f4.5 up to f8. Don't faff around with your ISO. Use auto ISO. I always go with 100 to 3200 in varying weather. or approximately 100 to 800 on a sunny day. I like to shoot with a minimum shutter speed of 1/250th of a second, but you might be more comfortable using a faster minimum shutter speed. It's up to you. And as I've said many times before, I use auto area autofocus in the center mode on my Ricoh cameras. Autofocus is very good on pretty much all modern cameras these days, so I think it just makes life easier. I also always shoot in aperture priority, which makes shooting a breeze. Of course, all of my settings are open to interpretation and are dependent upon your shooting style and the composition that you are shooting. Lastly, stay subtle. Use quiet, respectful body language to blend in and avoid disrupting the natural flow of life. The less noticeable you are, the more genuine your photos will feel. As for me, I follow the 3 U's system: unapproachable, unlikable, and unfriendly. But it's not working out that great, so I wouldn't recommend it. Do you have any tips that you would like to share about finding and capturing stories on the streets? I'd love to know, so please share them with me and the community. Please let us know down below. Street photography is all about you being able to find beauty in the everyday and turning ordinary moments into extraordinary images. However, if you want to know some advanced methods for capturing streetlights in your night street shots, then check out this video here. Until we meet again, go forth and create.